everybody, and welcome to this All Star Magazine exclusive with none other than Mr. Jeremy Sochan. Welcome to the Philippines, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Super excited to be here. It's great vibes, good food, good energy, good weather. So yeah, I'm just super excited to be here.
We're honored to have you here, of
Thank you.
course. I mean, like I said, I think by the end of this trip, your hair color is going to be Philippines theme, but you're here mostly for the Rising Stars Invitational. What are you looking forward to with that? And are you looking for Filipino talents in particular?
I'm here to experience it all. I think most important thing for me is to remind myself, that I was in their footsteps. So it could be nerve wracking at times, and um, just I think just being here and inspiring the kids, giving them some type of motivation to, maybe it's this tournament, to win it, to make it to Singapore, the regionals, or just in general, just keep working hard. And I think it's super excited to be here.
Fantastic. I'm sure the kids are thrilled to have you as well. Now, sticking with the Philippines, with Poland, you had a tune-up game against our
Yeah.
national team, Gilas Pilipinas, not that long ago. Were there any players in the team that impressed you? I know there was one guy, Kai Sotto, who played
Yeah.
NBA Summer League. Did he stick out to you?
Yeah, definitely. I've heard things about him. I know he's still young. He's tall, and has good touch and good mobility for a big. So I definitely saw him. I think one thing that stood out for me was just the energy they played with, the fight, the heart, and I think that's a super important trait to have in the game of basketball.
Do you think Kai has what it takes to make the NBA?
Yeah, I think he has all the physical abilities and even the skill abilities to make it. I think it's up to him to keep working, keep pushing, and keep growing his game. But I think he has all the abilities to make it to the NBA.
You've been so proud about playing for your national country. Why is that so? Why is representing your flag and name very important to you?
Yeah, I think I don't know. I feel like it's a different energy. You know, growing up in Europe, you played for your national team from a young age. I think my first camp was at 13. But it's a time during the summer where you can improve on your skills. But at the end of the day, I think it's about representing your country, your family, your parents, your grandmas, your granddads, and I think that's truly a blessing to have. And again, every time I step on the court with the Polish eagle on my jersey, I think I get this type of energy and excitement from it. So it's always good to play for the country.
So much talk about the NBA in the United States is about finding the next great American star that Americans can look up to. But as an international player and playing with guys like Wemby and other international guys, do you feel like there's not necessarily a need to find an American superstar because of all the international talent we have now?
Yeah, again, I think it's great to find as much stars as you can, whether it's international or domestic in America. I think you can see the European basketball has caught up. It's always been there. You can see by all the stars, the MVPs, Giannis, Jokic, Victor, Luca. There's just so many different stars, and I think that's the cool thing about basketball. It's so universal. Universal. Anyone can make it from all parts of the world, and I think that's the cool thing to see.
You're a solid defender early in your career, so I have to ask, and you have to answer. Who's the hardest guy to defend in the NBA?
The hardest guy to defend. I'll give you guys a couple. I think Curry.
That's one.
That's one. I think Anthony Edwards is pretty, twitchy, hard to guard. Kevin Durant, of course. I'll give you three. That's my three.
Okay. Now, from those three, if your life depended on it and you had to get a stop on one of them, who are you choosing to stop?
If I had to get a stop on one of them, dang, that's tough. I'm probably going with. Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know. I'll probably say Curry.
Because of the height?
Yeah, the height. I feel like I'd be able to disrupt him a little bit, and I don't think he's like a crazy amount faster than me. So I think I'll be able to keep up with him.
Now, speaking of defense, another great defender is your teammate Victor Wembanyama, who
Yeah.
would have won Defensive Player of the Year if he stayed healthy this year. And we can say that other than LeBron James, we haven't ever seen a prospect come to the NBA with pressure to exceed the expectations quite like Vic. What have you learned being with him? Because we know he's a very thoughtful person, his personality is unique. But what have you learned about potential pressure and excitement just being with Vic every day?
Yeah, I think the excitement part is always going to be there 24/7, from him, from media, from the organization. Um, but I think, like you said, he's thoughtful and he knows, his talent isn't just going to get him to, where he wants to go. And I think, him as a person, as a human, he's all about learning and growing. So he tries different things. He works extremely hard on his body, on his basketball game, on his mental. So I think the pressure part is a lot easier to deal with when he has so much to back up. And I think at times I'm looking at him, he's like there is no pressure. He's just being him and working hard.
Do you have a funny Vic story you can share? Something that kind of showcases his personality?
A funny Vic story. Um, That's a good question. I don't know. I think there's so many different ones. I think one cool one was when he dyed his hair, his rookie year. In the summer, he dyed his hair to one of my colors, and I think that was a pretty cool thing that he did.
Who looks better with colored hair? You're a Vic.
I have to go with myself.
Okay, last question. If there was one change or one evolution you'd like to see in the NBA and the game of basketball in the next 5 years, so put yourself in a position where you're the basketball overlord and you can make one change or one evolution, what would it be and why?
I think take out the 3 seconds in the key. Yeah, defensively.
So not offense, just
Yeah,
defense.
defensively. I think it'd be interesting to see that. Um, it would make it more physical. It would make it more. I think defense would be a lot better, easier to do. So yeah,
How many blocks would Vic average a game if there was no defensive 3 seconds?
at least 10. You definitely get 10 a few times.
Jeremy, thank you so much for your time. It was an absolute
sir.
pleasure. Hope you come back soon.
Thank you.